ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। We're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 14, The Forest of Enjoyment, Text 20. सैव पुनर्निद्रा जगर गृहीतोऽन्धे तमसि मग्नः शून्यारण्य इव शेते नान्यत् किंचन वेदशव इवापविद्धः. Translation. Shukadeva Goswami continued speaking to Maharaj Parikshit. My dear king, sleep is exactly like a python. Those who wander in the forest of material life are always devoured by the python of sleep. Being bitten by this python, they always remain in the darkness of ignorance. They are like dead bodies thrown in a distant forest. Thus, the conditioned souls cannot understand what is going on in life. In chapter 13, King Rahugana and Jadbharat had a lot of discussion. Jadbharat gave a lot of instruction. And those instructions are elaborated by Shukadeva Goswami now in this particular chapter to Parikshit Maharaj for the benefit of all of us. So in the previous chapter, in shloka number 9, Jadbharat was saying, Kvachin nigirino jagarahino jano navaiti kinchit vipine vaviddaha दस्तः स्मशेते क्वचदण्डशूकैर् अन्धोन्दकूपे पतितस्तमिश्रे. So very nicely he's talking about the merchant who has entered the forest with a hope to collect some things here and there. Finally he will sell and get some money and maintain his family. So here in this particular shloka it is said that when he goes to the forest, so there are many pythons are around, and those pythons swallow him. And what is that swallowing all about? And what happens after the person is swallowed? He becomes devoid of consciousness. He'll be like a dead body or a dead person. Now what does this mean is given here in this particular shloka number 20. It said, Nidra Ajagara Grihitah, swallowed by python, but python of Nidra, sleep. Andhe Tamasi Magnaha, absorbed in the deepest ignorance. When he is swallowed by the ignorance or the python of sleep, so at that time he gets absorbed in deepest ignorance. Andhe Tamasi Magnaha. Sa eva shunya aranya eva shete. He lies down in the deserted forest. How he lies down? Apaviddaha shavaiva, like a neglected dead body. And at that time, na anyat kinchana veda, he does not know anything. And I think all of us, we have personal experience also. There are times when someone sleeps in Bhagavatam class, the person is shaken and is not getting up. It so happened I was giving one class somewhere, and the devotee was foaming from the mouth. And the devotee besides was shaking his thigh, get up, and he's like, no. So it happens, when the python of sleep catches someone, at that time, the person is in ignorance, is almost like a dead body. And even every night when we sleep, especially those who are blessed, with nice sound sleep, for them, so it doesn't matter, even there is a bomb blast, it's okay. They'll just be in their sleep. But the question comes here, they could have said anything else. Why python? Why python of sleep? Very nice. analogy. So python, you see how python eats. When python catches, slowly it sucks, the person or the animal or whatever. Slowly it gets inside the body of python. It's not that at the go it will eat everything. Slowly it will take inside. So slowly the person dies. Similarly, every day they sleep is like python, and slowly we are losing our lifespan. Slowly, every day, whatever time we sleep, it is like that time is lost. That time of human form is lost. That time of our lifetime is lost. So nothing but we are slowly dying. And Srila Prabhupada says that this is a fact. What happens every moment? Every moment the person is dying. And what is the proof for that? When you ask a person, the person's age, you ask, how old are you? So every moment the person is becoming old. And finally, he leaves the body. Therefore, python of sleep, slowly the person is dying. Now in Srimad Bhagavatam, so many places this sleep is condemned. Just to give you an example. Nidraya hriyate naktam vyavayena chavabhayah divacharte hayarajan kutumba bharane nava. So here it is said, Nidraya hriyate naktam. Nidraya, by sleeping. Hriyate, wastes. Naktam, at night. So the person is just wasting his life sleeping at night. And Srila Prahlad Maharaj, when he is instructing all his classmates, he also says nice thing. He gives a mathematical calculation. Pumso varsha shatam hi ayus tad ardham chajitatmanah nishphalam yad asau ratryam shetendham prapitastamah. He says, say Pumsah, a human being, has got Varsha Shatam Ayuhu. Say he has got 100 years. Tad ardham cha ajitatmanah nishphalam yad asau ratryam. So what happens? The person wastes his half of the day in sleeping, 12 hours in sleeping. Why? Because senses are not under control. And he's just saying, just waste of time. When outsiders will hear that, say these people are all crazy people. That sleeping is waste of time. But why sleeping is called as waste of time is also very important to understand. There are four states of awareness in our existence. The first one is called as Jagrat Avastha. Jagrat Avastha means when we are awake. When we are consciously awake, not just eyes open. Consciously awake, that's Jagrat Avastha. Second is called as Swapna Avastha. In Swapna Avastha, the person is sleeping, but he's still working in the dreams. Sometimes it happens, no? You sleep, even if you sleep for 8 hours and say you had a lot of dreams, when you get up, you feel very tired. And you're still working. You're working on the subtle platform. Then there is something called as Shushupti, third state, Shushupti Avastha. In Shushupti, the person is in deep sleep, no dreams, is in deep sleep. And the fourth state of awareness is called as Turiya. Turiya means trance. This is pure spiritual awareness. So when we say Yoga Nidra comes in this category. So in Bhagavatam class, you don't get into Turiya, you get into Swapna or Susupti. So Turiya is this, at this stage of Turiya, or the state of awareness that we are talking about. So at this stage, there are a lot of spiritual revelations. And our Lord is there in this stage, or in this state, in Yoga Nidra. So in Yoga Nidra, Lord is manifesting so many wonderful things. He's enacting in so many wonderful ways. And all those great souls who are spiritually enlightened, they are in this state, and in this state, a lot of spiritual revelations are given. You take any example, be it Madhavendra Puri or be it any other devotee in our parampara, be it Rupa Goswami or be it anyone. So all these personalities, they were revealed in this state of Turiya, that for Madhavendra Puri, Gopal Dev said, I'm there in this forest, please come and take me out from here. And for Rupa Goswami, it was told, no, I'm there in that anthill or something like that. It was not told. He said, very soon you will find me. And then later it was revealed that Lord is there in the anthill. So in this way, in the state of Turiya, all these things are revealed. So it's in trance. Now the problem with sleep, let's discuss about that. What is the problem with sleep? At least at our level, there is no problem with sleep. But the problem is oversleep. See, when a devotee, he takes rest to rejuvenate his body so that he can serve the Lord better, that is still okay. But then here in this purport, Prabhupada writes, while asleep, one completely forgets the object of life and what to do. And there's a fact. When we go to sleep, so at that time, maybe when in Jagrata Avastha, we might be very fired up devotee, doing this, that, etc., etc. And at night, when we sleep, we forget everything. We forget the goal of life, we forget everything, and we enter some other state of existence only. So it's a very important thing to note that goal of life is forgotten at that time. That is the problem. Goal of life is forgotten. And when the goal of life is forgotten, one thing is very clear. We'll not be able to act towards getting closer to goal of life. Time is less, goal is very high. And in that we are wasting time by sleeping. Or oversleeping, I should say. Therefore, it's very nice to always contemplate on this subject matter, that how goal is so high and my endeavors are not that great to attain that goal. And especially when we go to sleep. So at that time, when goal is forgotten. And when goal is forgotten, there's no question of contemplation, there's no question of endeavor, there's no question of prayers. And the person is there in a different phase or different existence of sense gratification. Therefore, Bhagavatam is saying that sleep is a problem. Sleep is compared to python. Slowly the person is dying. So a devotee of the Lord does not die. A devotee of the Lord gets closer to Krishna. But the person who is sleeping, he is dying day by day. He is not getting closer to Krishna, but he is dying, he is getting closer to death. Therefore, it's a very nice thing to contemplate that how sleep devours a person like python devours a person. So python might physically eat up the person, but when it comes to sleep, it eats up the person at the level of consciousness because he is completely unconscious in sleep. When it comes to great souls, they say that oversleep is not a problem, sleep itself is a problem. Why sleep itself is a problem? Because in the sleep, you cannot serve the Lord. You cannot think about the Lord. So what is the point? Because for great soul, service is everything. So when I'm sleeping and the service is taken away, then what's the use of my existence? Sleep is waste. Sleep is useless. So this is what is their statement. So in this way, basically, what we understand is sleep is a problem because in this state, in Nidravastha, we are not able to think about the Lord, serve the Lord, we are not able to contemplate on the goal or do anything to get closer to the goal. For many people, sleep is not just a problem, it's a suffering. Especially those who are into a different state of existence and they use sleep as a tool to get, at least forget the miseries for some time. Especially you see people who are depressed, they keep sleeping all the time. Whenever they get chance, sleep. Just keep sleeping. They want to just forget it for some time. And there are various other personalities who don't sleep much. Therefore, we say, the ones who sleep more, they become lazy. And the ones who sleep less will become crazy. And therefore, Krishna says, don't be both of it. Yukta ahara viharasya, yukta cheshtasa karmasu, yukta swapna avabodhasya yogo bhavati dukkha. Well, Krishna says, balance it properly. Don't become lazy or don't become crazy. Balance it properly. And when we accept the sleep for this maintaining the body in a very right way, then the things are okay. Then a person can become a yogi. Yogi means the one who can connect with the Lord. Now, there are many people in this world who don't get sleep only. You might say, oh, elevated soul. How do you make out? The elevated soul also does not sleep, and the person who has insomnia, he'll also not sleep. So, in both the cases, how do you make out that who is who? Now, it might happen. Someone hears about a great soul in the Bhagavatam class, and in the office, he sees that he has a boss who never sleeps, even at night. And then he says, oh, Prabhuji, I have a great soul in my office. How do you make out that who is great and who is just foolish? So when it comes to devotee, he's always engaged in service of the Lord and he's blissful. He's blissful even when he's not sleeping. And the person who has insomnia will be frustrated all the time. And anyone who comes in touch with him, he'll make sure that he'll leave him also frustrated. This is a very nice symptom that we can easily make out. One person came for Gita course. And then after attending few sessions, he was so happy. He told me, Prabhuji, I was having insomnia. But by attending your classes, I'm getting good sleep. Then I was thinking, should I take it as a compliment or chastisement? For people, it's really a very great struggle. A great struggle. There are people who cannot sleep without pills. Sleeping pills, they cannot. And say the ones who sleep also, for them also sleep is suffering. Especially in Nidravastha. Why? You get bad dream, it's a suffering. You just imagine you're falling down from the cliff somewhere, or a brahmachari in the dream is getting married. Oh Krishna, what's happening? Or whatever, a grahastha having a lot of money, everything is taken away in the sleep. So bad dream is a suffering. And sometimes people say, good night, sweet dreams. Sweet dream is also suffering. Why sweet dream is suffering? In the dream, he's relishing something, and when he wakes up, like, where is it? Where is it gone? So that also becomes a suffering. In this way, in toto, sleep is a suffering. This is still for materialists. Talking about devotees. So devotees also get sleep. His Holiness Bhakti Prachar Maharaj, when he had come here, Bhakti Prachar Parivarajak Swami Maharaj. When he came here, he was saying, devotees are the ones who sleep a lot. We were like, we were already sleep deprived, and why Maharaj is saying like this. Then he started saying, at night they sleep. In Mangalarti, standing they sleep. In chanting, sitting they sleep. Bhagavatam class, hearing they sleep. And they are the ones who sleep a lot. But here is a question, that why do devotees get sleep? It is because of the anarthas. So, in the stage where a lot of anarthas are there, the 4 categories of anarthas, and especially apradotha anartha. I hope everyone knows the 4 categories. Sukritortha anartha, Dushkritotha anartha, Bhaktiokta anartha, and apradotha anartha. The anarthas because of one's pious credits, because of one's sinful credits, because of sinful activity, and because of practicing bhakti also, improper practicing of bhakti, and because of aparad, the 10 nam aparad and the 64 seva aparad. So because of all these aparads, what happens is, there are 5 symptoms that are seen in a person who is struggling in anartha nivritti stage. And the first one is called as laya. We have discussed this in great detail in one of the class, laya. So in laya, what happens is, the person, he sleeps. Why? Because his mind goes inactive. And when mind goes inactive, he sleeps. One devotee was giving explanation why devotees sleep in chanting. Personal conversation he was telling. Because he was sleeping and I woke him up, and then after chanting, he gave me an explanation. See, Prabhu, what happens is, when we are chanting, at that time mind becomes calm and clear. So in that state of calm and clear existence of mind, naturally the person sleeps. So when the devotee is sleeping, so you have to understand that his mind is clear. So it's a good thing. Very nice, Prabhu. Very nice. But here is the nice example given by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in Madhurya Kadambini. That is because of anarthas. and especially apradothanartha. And we will see this particular thing happening because of inattentiveness, especially in chanting. When we are inattentive, when you're able to hear the holy name, you don't sleep. But when you become inattentive and you start thinking about various different things, after some time you just go to sleep. This is exactly what is happening, with many devotees. And the different levels of laya also. So when the kirtan is going on, so at that time, sleep is very difficult. And even if someone is able to sleep, the devotee should be given Mahaprasad garland. Yes, he's able to do something that is impossible. Even in the kirtan where nice mridanga, kartal and loud sound of devotees is there, but still if someone can sleep, then yes, he deserves a Mahaprasad garland. And next is Shravanam. So Kirtanam, you cannot sleep. And even if you're able to sleep, it's a very big thing. And the next is in Shravanam, when you're hearing. Because in Kirtan, it's a very active thing, where you're hearing and you're chanting, hearing and chanting. And when you sit in a class, Shravanam, so at that time, again, you're doing activity of hearing. So even in class also, getting sleep is difficult, but not as difficult as the Kirtan time. But then the next level is Smaranam. In Smaranam, sleep is very easy. And Japa comes in Smaranam, where the devotee is chanting very softly. And after some time, there is no sound. So the deep sleep. So in here, one thing which I like to highlight is, because of the anarthas, we are not able to move ahead. And these anarthas go away by intense bhakti. So when do we sleep? More is in Smaranam, in Japa. And less sleeping is in Shravanam. And the least one, or almost nil, is Kirtanam. Therefore, one thing that all of us as devotees should do is, when Kirtan is going on, we should be very active, very alert. Because the other two, see, all these are only angas of bhakti. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam. And these are primary angas of bhakti. And when it comes to Shravanam and Smaranam, we are clean bowled. But at least when Kirtan is going on, we are active. With some activities happening, you can clap your hands, you can hear, you can chant, and the tunes are different. So it's very important that whenever Kirtan is happening, we should tell ourselves that this is the time when I can naturally be active. Let me not become inattentive. I think it was a Brahmachari Sangha that was happening. I was hearing a class. So in that, they were asking that how to improve one's smaranam or chanting, japa. And one of the things that was told by one of the senior devotees in that Sangha was, when Kirtan is going on, try to hear the Hare Krishna Mahamantra very attentively and sing very nicely. That will help the devotee to chant one's japa very nicely. So it's a very logical thing that in Kirtan, there's least probability of sleeping, but at that time, Maya can trick. Maya will say, anyways, this is not important. Prabhu's eyes are also closed. He's not seeing. Better finish some other activity. And once he opens his eyes, and then you sit attentively and look at him. And sometimes people say, anyways, what Jai Radha Madha ho raha hai na, uske baad jayenge. After that, we will go for class. Because class is the important thing. And Baba, class is the important thing, no doubt. But our moment is called a Sankirtan moment. And when Kirtan is going on, you should be present in that place. So it's not secondary, it's primary. In this way, Laya will attack the devotee. And when Laya attacks, the devotee goes to sleep. Therefore, a devotee should endeavor a lot not to sleep, especially in Kirtan, in class, and in Japa. Very important. So sleep attacks a devotee also like python. Because when the devotee sleeps in these basic angas of bhakti, duration of life is anyways going. I'm not talking about that. But a devotee who has come to a certain level of Krishna consciousness, his consciousness is eaten up by this python. What happens when the python eats up the consciousness? The taste for practicing bhakti goes on reducing, it goes down. That inattentiveness gives rise to this degradation of consciousness. And this is what is acting like python. It will eat up our entire existence. And all those devotees were very master at doing this particular activity of getting into, I don't know, Turiya, I shouldn't say, it's not Turiya. Susupti maybe. Susupti, they'll have tough time, really have tough time. Therefore, devotee should endeavor a lot, to always be away from this python. Because this python will eat up one's consciousness, and when the consciousness is eaten up, there's no taste for bhakti that will arise. For sure, no taste for bhakti that will arise. Because inattentiveness is itself an offense. And when there are offenses, where is the question of taste? So this is a very, very important thing to note. Now, keeping this aside, physically sleeping. Another point that is made when it comes to sleep is, in general, in the material world, living entities are sleeping. And Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he sings, for waking up all of them. Jiva jago, Gaura Chanda bole, Kota nidra jao maya, Picha chera kole. Get up, you sleeping soul, get up. When Krishna would go to steal butter, and when the babies would be sleeping, he would put water in their ears and would say, Jeev jago, get up. Get up. So get up, you sleeping soul, get up. How long will you sleep on the lap of Maya? Which Maya? Now this is very, very important. Even Srila Prabhupada is mentioning in the purport as well. People do not understand that they are actually sleeping in this material world, being devoid of knowledge of spiritual life. So what is that sleeping all about? What is that illusion all about? Illusion of this world is considering that which is impermanent to be permanent. That is the biggest illusion that we see. And anything that is impermanent, and we become very serious towards that, to maintain that, and considering that to be permanent, one thing that we need to understand is this is the biggest illusion. And such a person is considered to be sleeping. Now someone might say that no, people are all moving around, running around and so active. Yes. Those are the active sleeping people. Why? Because they're away from reality. They're in different illusion altogether. And when people are living in this illusion, they are just wasting their life. So sleep is called as waste of time. Here it is said python, because python eats up the lifetime of the person. Similarly, when people are just running around in this world, temporary world, to do something permanent, or thinking to do something permanent, their time is also getting wasted, and that also is compared to sleep. And that sleep will kill the person in terms of not allowing him to get closer to Krishna. Because he is devoid of spiritual knowledge. Devoid of spiritual knowledge. And it's very clear also. At times people ask, that आप लोग कितने बजे उठते हैं? 3:30 बजे. क्या करते हैं आप लोग उठ के रात को? What is there to do? Because for them, they don't have anything except maybe for watching movies at late night. Late night watching movies, and after some time you're frustrated, how many movies you'll watch. But for a spiritualist, as it is said, for a materialist, that which is day is night for a spiritualist, and night of a materialist is day for a spiritualist. So for a spiritualist, for a devotee, when he wakes up, he has got a lot of things to do. When he wakes up, so the morning time itself is so packed. You need to attend Mangalarti, you need to chant attentively, you need to hear Bhagavatam class, etc. But when it comes to materialist, he'll never understand this particular thing. He is devoid of all the knowledge of Abhidheya, that how to practice devotional service. And he is in great ignorance because Sambandha Gyan is missing. He is not understanding the basic thing that I am not the body, I am spirit soul. This is the basic realization. That itself is missing. Theoretically also missing. And what to talk about practical realization. And the next level, I am servant of Krishna. No idea about that. Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. No idea about that. And forget about the higher rasas. Forget about that. So when the person is devoid of all this gyan, sambandha, abhidaya, and the worst part is he don't know what is prayojan. This is the most difficult, or I would say pathetic part of a materialist life. Because when he does not know the goal, he fixes some goal by himself, by hearing here and there from other materialists. And guess what happens? He considers that to be goal and keeps running behind that goal and wastes his entire life. Python just swallows this person completely. Therefore, even that is considered as sleeping. And therefore, Gauranga Mahaprabhu, he says, Enechi aushadi maya nashibaro lagi harinama maha mantra naoto mimagi. Lord is advertising. Lord is advertising that I have got another pill which will wake you up. And this is a very wonderful medicine. You have taken a pill of sense gratification and you're sleeping in this world. But I have got a pill. I have got the medicine called the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I have got this medicine. And just by taking this medicine, you'll become awake. And this can be seen in Bhagavatam class also. As soon as this medicine is given, all the ones are sleeping. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. On a serious note, Gauranga is saying that I've got this medicine to awaken each and every living entity. Why is saying that? Because this Hare Krishna Mahamantra will remove that covering of ignorance. And when the covering of ignorance is removed, naturally the living entity will come to its natural state of being active and awake in Krishna consciousness. So wonderful. So wonderful. When it comes to great souls, for them, sleeping is a big waste of time. And therefore they condemn so much, be it physically sleeping or be it subtly sleeping or spiritually sleeping. At all the three levels, they feel it's nonsense. Because they follow one principle called avyartha kalatvam. And this is one of the symptoms of the stage of bhava. So in this state of avyartha kalatvam, the devotee does not like to waste a single moment. Every single moment, he engages himself in service of the Lord. And one of the recent examples which all of us witnessed was His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. Even in sleep, he's doing deity worship. His hands are moving, I'm sure, internally, in his sleep, in his deep meditation. He was physically worshipping the Lord standing in the altar. And there's a very nice thing to note that every single day, the activities that we do, that's what comes in the dream also. And when the devotee practices bhakti very intensely, in the dream, in swapnavastha as well, he gets an opportunity to serve the Lord. How wonderful that is. How wonderful. But obviously during chanting, that is not allowed. Sometimes it happens, you're chanting, at least it's happened with me. You're chanting and then you're dozing and in the dream you're chanting. And you open your eyes and like, oh, I was physically sleeping. I was not physically chanting. So it's very nice that when we go to sleep at night, and even at night if we get this spiritual dreams, that gives a lot of rejuvenation. Say you're going around and doing some parikrama in dham, or you're bathing the deities, doing abhishekam, or you're worshipping the deities, or you're preaching, or doing something, that is actually worth. In sleep, this is worth. Therefore, it's very important that we understand one thing, the entire day what we're doing will help us to Krishnaize our dreams also, spiritualize our dreams also. Therefore, these great souls, they believe in this one thing, not even wasting a single moment. And so many examples are there, isn't it? For example, Parikshit Maharaj. 7 days, 7 nights continuous. Hearing, asking question, hearing. And Shukadeva Goswami is not tired. He is speaking. Normally we glorify Parikshit Maharaj that he didn't sleep, he didn't eat, he didn't drink. But Shukadeva Goswami is doing much more. Because he was speaking continuously. He's speaking continuously and he was also not drinking water, nor having food, nothing. They were relishing Krishna consciousness. No sleep. Then we have various other examples. in Navadvip, and all the devotees were busy doing kirtan in the morning. And after doing the kirtan, when sun was about to set, so that time Lord Chaitanya told all the devotees, why are you wasting time at night sleeping? Let's do kirtan. And all the devotees were so happy, and devotees were like, Hari bol, Hari bol, Hari bol. At night also we'll do kirtan. Just imagine if we say this here in the temple. Why sleep at night? Let's do Shravan Kirtan the entire night. Hari bol. No, Prabhu, no, please, please, please. So all those them were so happy. And every single night, there would be ecstatic kirtans. And when the sun would rise, at that time, devotees, they would curse the sun. And they would want to burn the sun also. That's how their vision was, looking at the sun. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, why are we wasting time at night sleeping? Let's do kirtan. And then we have example like Haridas Thakur. Now this personality, when he slept, when he did preaching, when he ate, when he took bath, everything is a big question mark. Because it was a big question mark for that prostitute who came to allure Haridas Thakur. Even Maya Devi personified when she came to allure Haridas Thakur. They're all in a great fix. Because they all sat the entire night. All glories to Haridas Thakur. He had the power to keep even a prostitute awake. She was waiting. Now he'll finish his chanting. Now he'll finish his chanting. Then I'll allure him. Then I'll trap him. And what happened? Nothing. Haridas Thakur was chanting continuously. And this prostitute, she was awake. And she was hearing the holy name continuously. They're relishing, Baba. They're relishing chanting. And for them, sleep is just waste of time. And Srila Prabhupada was telling in one class, it was 1974 in Hawaii, he's saying, 24 hours business must be there. So sleeping is not good. The Goswamis used to sleep only 2 hours. Even in the purport, Prabhupada is saying, no? Nidra, ahara, vihara, kadi, vijitao. So Goswamis gave up sleeping. For them, sleeping was like poison. They would condemn themselves. And they would sleep only for 1 hour, 1.5 hours, 2 hours max. For that also they would condemn. And they would say, see, I'm in so much of Maya. I don't know, when they look at us, what they would start talking about us. I really don't know. We are in so much of Maya. We are wasting time. And because of that, they would feel, I don't have any love for Krishna. Because of that, I'm just getting into ignorance. Then different mood altogether. So these were the Goswamis, and Prabhupada is saying here that Goswamis used to sleep only 2 hours. And Prabhupada talks about himself. He says, I also write at night books, and I also sleep not more than 3 hours. But Prabhupada then very humbly says, but I am not imitating Goswamis. We should have some rest, to give rest to this body, but not more. But in the entire class, one thing that I could find was Prabhupada's entire endeavor was to convince devotees to sleep only for 2 to 3 hours. That was the entire class all about. Then this way these great souls have engaged in the service of the Lord, and they would not sleep. Sleep was just waste of time. But our Lord, Lord Krishna, He uses the devotee also who is sleeping in service of His own. Muchukunda Maharaj is an example. It is so nice. Muchukunda Maharaj, he served all the demigods, were fighting with demons. And Devatas were so happy. And Devatas were ready to give any benediction. And Muchukunda Maharaj said, I just want to sleep. I want deep sleep. And anyone who disturbs me will be burnt when I open my eyes. And the Supreme Lord knows everyone, everything. Sarvasichaham Hridhi Sannivishta. So that time, Supreme Lord was attacked by Kalanemi. And Lord was fighting with him. And after some time, Lord got bored and he said, go get lost. And he left. And he entered the same cave where Muchukunda Maharaj was resting. And Lord hid himself there. And Kalanemi came. And by the way, Lord did one tricky thing. He put his external Angavastra on the body of Muchukunda. And Kalanemi, he came and he kicked Muchukunda. Said, get up, you're sleeping. You coward, get up. And Muchukunda Maharaj, he opened his eyes and Hari Bol. Kalanemi was burnt. So here we see that how a devotee is sleeping. Lord orchestrates all this basically. So when a devotee, when he's asking for a benediction that he wants to sleep, because Muchukunda Maharaj was a great devotee, by the way. So Lord orchestrates through the devotee, where devotee is asking that I want to sleep, but through this, using this devotee as an instrument, Lord achieves something else in his leelas. Therefore, pure devotees are always instruments in the hands of the Lord in any of the avasthas, be it Jagrat avastha, be it Swapna avastha, be it Shushupti, and Turiya, there is no question. They are always engaged in service of the Lord. So after hearing this class, I'm sure all the devotees will decide only 2 hours sleeping. I'm not talking about day rest. At night, only 2 hours. Rest of the time, only Shravan Kirtan. See, one thing is there that we cannot imitate. We cannot imitate. We have to follow Yukta Ahara Viharasya principle. So sleep is needed. Rest is needed. But that rest is needed to rejuvenate the body. And naturally, when the devotee will advance in Krishna consciousness, his basic needs will reduce. How the basic needs like even eating, sleeping, mating and defending goes away. Because when the devotee advances, he is no more on the gross platform. He comes on the spiritual platform. Only on the gross platform you need food, you need sleep, you need water, etc. But when you go on to the spiritual platform and you understand that your spirit soul and you're serving Krishna on the spiritual platform, there's no question of these gross needs of eating, sleeping, mating, defending. Therefore, Prabhupada, look at this purport. Prabhupada is very confident. And Prabhupada says, for spiritual realization, one should try to avoid sleep as much as possible. The Goswamis of Vrindavan practically did not sleep at all. Following in the footsteps of the Goswamis, we should try to reduce sleeping, eating, mating and defending. Now, as a sadhana, yes, we can do. Obviously not drastic. Sometimes when someone hears a fired up class, they will be getting up at 9 o'clock, they start getting up at 4 o'clock. And health goes for a toss. So we're not talking about all these drastic, sporadic endeavors. It's a very practical endeavor where a devotee does it as a sadhana, slowly reducing the sleep. But the permanent solution for this is advancement in Krishna consciousness. The person has to give up the gross platform and has to come on the spiritual platform. When he comes on the spiritual platform and he relishes Krishna consciousness, like Haridas Thakur and others, or the devotees in Navadvip, naturally they'll not feel like sleeping. Naturally. Because they're relishing something higher. Now we might relish sleeping. Just forget the entire world and go to sleep for some time. But at that platform, of spiritual platform, when the devotee is relishing Krishna consciousness, he does not want to miss that opportunity. He doesn't want to miss that opportunity of serving Krishna, personally serving Krishna. Therefore, one thing that we need to do is advance in spiritual life. Artificially reducing sleep might help to some extent. But the permanent solution is, naturally the sleep will go down when we advance in Krishna consciousness. And to advance in Krishna consciousness, one of the important endeavor is not to sleep in the primary angas of bhakti. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam. We cannot sleep. Sometimes devotees go to sleep in Archanam also. The entire night, the devotee has not got sleep. I'm telling this because it happened with me once. Some festival and then no sleep at night and in the morning, and I forgot whom was I showing the incense in the altar. But I'm sure leaving the gross platform and coming to spiritual platform, some experience even we might have. Like for example, Janmashtami festival. Nirjala, there's no food that we're taking, no solid food that is entering our body, no sleep also. One night before, not sleeping, the same night also not getting proper sleep, and the entire day devotees are active. Why devotees are active? All the time they're engaged in service of the Lord. And it's a fact, as soon as there is no service, you will see this. Immediately we'll feel like sleeping. But then when the devotee is completely packed with services, at that time the devotee is completely active. And it's a different experience altogether. Then how the same devotee who needs, say, 8 hours of sleep, is not sleeping at all. Just with 2 hours sleep at night, the previous day is managing the entire day till night 12 o'clock. And after we take prasad at 12 or 12:30 or 1, that is the time when naturally the devotee from the spiritual platform comes down and onto the gross platform, and then the rest everything we know, our own experience. The point is, even this experience of going to spiritual platform, even all of us have a glimpse of this. Now just imagine if we actually come to spiritual platform permanently, how wonderful it will be. How wonderful. So in this way, Srila Prabhupada expects all of us, to come to this platform. All the acharyas expect us to come to this platform. And all this will happen only when we advance in Krishna consciousness. If we don't advance, then there's no question of reaching this platform, and there's no question of going back home, back to God. So with this, I would like to pause here. Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki.